There you go. So basically, as what you guys like have known already, like ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon is gonna be about like Amazon virtual assistant or maybe like being a virtual assistant in general on what are the things na kailangan mong gawin in 2024 in moving forward sa ganitong klaseng space, most especially that it's getting so like I would say a little bit like saturated already kasi sobrang dami ng mga freelancers ngayon and there's so many courses as well that is being offered. And we kind of, which is I totally understand as well, like hesitant um, a little bit on what's we're going to get when we enroll into like a specific course. If it's going to be quality, it's going to be worth our money, time, and etc. I totally get that because I also came from like that point as well back when I was like starting back in 2017, which I'm going to share like really quick in a moment. But before like we start, let me like confirm if you can hear me okay now. Can you guys type in the sa comment section lang if you can hear me okay? Just type in yes, yes. Sino to, sir? Okay, yes, yes. Thank you very much. Now, what I would like to ask is anyone here na uh how do I say this? Like aspiring freelancers pa lang, like totally new sa freelancing. Or maybe you are a freelancer already, a virtual assistant already, but you just want to know like ano bang ginagawa ng isang Amazon virtual assistant. I know it's very popular out there, even with the job posts sa mga Facebook groups. Pretty much you can see a lot of like job posts about virtual assistant. But the question there is, ano nga ba talagang ginagawa ng isang Amazon BA? Now, I just wanna know like in the comment section if sino ang like aspiring VA pa lang dito, just can you guys please comment, say me or one? Me, siguro me. Me, let's see. I just wanna look at if every one here or majority of you guys, so I know how and where to start my discussion. Because it doesn't make any sense if most of you are already VAs here and then I'm gonna start with the basics, then we're just gonna waste time to that. Me, sir, no experience yet, newbie. Well, I believe like lahat siguro dito, we're almost 83 right now, excluding me, 82. Coach Mel as well, nandito rin. But I can pretty much see that most of you are totally fresh or new sa industry. So basically, what I'm going to discuss is I'll discuss go first VA, how to become a virtual assistant 101 kasi this is super important and I'll make it really quick. I'm not gonna bore you with the details and some flowering words. I just wanna like discuss this really quickly and frank and honest on what's the reality about being a virtual assistant and give you some sort of guidance at the same time, most especially if you are choosing like specific skills or what is virtual assistant in nature, like in general. So yun, I'm gonna discuss VA 101 and maybe a little bit background about how I started, just to give you an idea that I started with zero knowledge as well, just to inspire you na this kind of kumbaga trainings and whatnot is something na natutunan ko lang din from the ground up. So that's something that I'll be happy to share with you guys. So uh how to become a virtual assistant 101, then Coach Mel together with us here right now is going to discuss like what is virtual assistant, how to become a highly paid virtual assistant in 2024, what are the things that you have to consider in order to have a what do you call it, a value for money when you are negotiating with your client in becoming a virtual assistant. Kasi there's a lot of misconception out there na sa online on how they actually make money as a virtual assistant. I know you guys are pretty much aware already. I guess most of you, I would assume, na you've been seeing a lot of people, maybe your friends, your neighbors, that are making 6 digit per month, which is actually true. But there's a little bit of, kumbaga, blurry situation there that you have to understand first before. So I mean, my point is, I just want to give you guys a proper expectation on what's really virtual assistant is really all about. So yun yung pag-uusapan natin. If kakayanin pa ng oras, I'm going to discuss how to create a graphics A plus content as an Amazon like virtual assistant if kakayanin. But I'll try, and I guess we can start already. And let me go ahead and share my screen right away. So right. Let me just close the other things here. Alrighty. Hold on. Close mo natin yung Facebook, baka maraming mag-pop up. Emails, calendars, and ayan. So let me share my screen. How to become a virtual assistant 101. And if kakayanin pa ng oras, I'll also, if kakayanin, I'll give you some idea which will also help you to set a proper expectation in terms of when dealing with clients during the interview. Just a quick idea lang naman. Can you guys see my screen already? No? Hold on. No. Okay. Thank you. There you go. How about now? Are
It's
we
blank.
You guys can see it now? Let me just look at the chat right here.
Yes.
Okay na, coach. Yes, thank you very much. And by the way, by the end of this training, if abutin tayo ng siguro 90 hanggang sa matapos yung training kasi we're 91 right now, 90 participants, then I will have a raffle draw at least one PPC account lang. Self-face lang na na lesson. So if you have if you are interested how to become an Amazon PPC advertising virtual assistant, then I can give you at the very end of this training a self-face pre-recorded lesson para sa inyo guys. Live session naman, coach. Live session? What do you mean live session? Make it 5. We'll see. Nandito pala si Coach Joren. What do you mean live? Live class? Yung ipa-raffle natin?
Yes, coach. Live na.
Okay, sige. Nandito pala si Coach Joren. So, magpaparaffle tayo ng live class and then we'll see kung abutin tayo ng 90 plus at the very end of this session, then tignan natin kung sino yung siswertein na mananalo. So, but first, let's discuss first kasi most of you guys here, tinanong ko kanina, are like totally new, aspiring virtual assistant. I know some people right here, mga student ko from PPC. They're just right here, some of them, but there's like only a few of them that I can recognize that are experienced already. But, baka ma-invite natin sila mamaya. I guess they have the clients already. Hopefully they will, papayag sila. So, ayun. Let me just discuss you first how I actually started, just to give you an idea. I started with zero knowledge. This is just very quick discussion lang. And by the way, I am Ruben Chongson pala, hindi pala ako nagpakilala. I am Ruben Chongson. I am the founder of Sandbox VA, which I founded back in 2018, and I started offering courses, Amazon product research, PPC, virtual assistant, and then we expanded to different kind of VA skill right now in Amazon, and this is what we're trying to do right now to educate a lot of aspiring Filipino people how to become a virtual assistant and help them decide kung ano yung magandang skill, virtual assistant skill na pwedeng mag-fit sa kanila through our platform and at the same time sa webinars like this. Right? So, ayun. Let me start right here. By the way, that's my name. That's how you spell my name, Ruben Chongson. And then let's discuss about what is virtual assistant or being a freelancer 101. So, first, there's so many kind of virtual assistant, right? Anything that you can offer online can be considered as virtual assistant as long as you are assisting someone virtually or online, whether on a graphics concern or your video editing, web design, web programmer, or you're managing social media of a certain client remotely, that can be considered as virtual assistant, right? From the word itself, as long as you are assisting someone through computer or virtually, that can be considered as virtual assistant already. And there's so many kind of virtual assistant, and this is where a lot of aspiring VA get confused when it comes to starting their career. Kasi tinatanong nila, like, gusto ko maging virtual assistant. But the question there is, anong klaseng virtual assistant? Kasi it's very, the term virtual assistant, it's a little bit broad in today's situation kasi sobrang dami na. And these are some of the example. Like, pwede ka maging isang virtual assistant na graphic designer, video editor, web designer, programmer, social media manager, email marketer, e-commerce manager, Facebook ads, Amazon virtual assistant, which is I'm going to discuss in a moment. And there's a lot more that you can think of na pwede maging skill mo. But we're gonna be focusing later on about Amazon virtual assistant. But again, just like what I said earlier, let me just share you how I actually started back in 2017, in which is ito yung pinag-aralan ko, hotel and restaurant management, which has nothing to do with computer at all, and I'm not even like computer literate back when I started nung nag-BPO ako. Kasi after ko makagraduate, then diretso na ako sa pagiging isang call center agent, although there was an opportunity to work sa isang like luxury na resort here in Samal Island, specifically sa Pearl Farm. I was offered to work there permanently, but I decided to not to pursue it, and nag-call center agent, which is for about like 2 years. And then one of my colleague, yun na nga, discuss about, nakapag-mention about online jobs, and then I did some research when I get home. And then doon ko na-encounter yung mga ESL. So when I dig deeper, doon ko na-encounter yung term na virtual assistant. So when I tried to do a little bit more research, what is virtual assistant? And then doon ko nalaman na there are so many kind of virtual assistants. So I decided to look for some training centers dito sa amin sa Davao City. And luckily for me, back in 2017, that was actually me. Meron akong nakitang training center. So I enrolled. That was a 30 days training on how to become a virtual assistant. And ang pinag-aralan namin dyan for about 30 days are like more on basics lang talaga on how to become a virtual assistant, and a little bit touch of like being a social media manager, but not the in-depth level na social media management talaga. So after they did 30 days na training, I decided to resign from my corporate work sa BPO. But that's something that I won't suggest. I'm always saying this, especially right now kasi sobrang saturated na. Kasi 2017, 2016, 2015, even if you have a basic skill pa lang, the chances of you getting a client is actually high. But simula nung nagka-pandemic, maraming nakakilala sa freelancing, online jobs, virtual assistant, mas naging saturated na kasi alam natin sobrang daming mga magagaling na mga like talented individuals talaga na Filipino. Graphic designer, copywriter, video editor, social media managers that are not really like aware na pwede pala nila magamit yon as as freelancer. And so nung nagka-pandemic, everyone has like basically has no option but really need to to make money while at home kasi bawal lumabas. And doon na mas naging popular ang virtual assistant, and it started to become a little bit more like saturated that time. So basically what I'm trying to say here, like if you have a very basic skills right now, like let us say tawag nito data entry na mga skills, the chances of you getting a client might be a little bit like hard na, right? Kasi sobrang saturated na talaga. So basically, if you are trying to, considering to become a virtual assistant right now, you have to decide kung anong klaseng skill yung pipiliin mo. And now, I started a social media manager kasi yung inaral ko. This was my first client, a construction company in California. This is B&M Builders, and what I do is I help them na ma-improve yung presence nila sa social media. I engage with their customers, and etc. Graphics and video editing. Pero hindi ako nagtagal kasi hindi naman ako ganun kagalingan when it comes to graphic design. Natutulong din ako eventually. But, hindi ako nagtagal, especially when it comes to grammars and etc. So, copywriting, those were like, kumaga, one of my weakest point when it comes to being a social media manager kasi it involves like writing talaga yung mga captions na ipopost mo dun sa mga page nila kasi hindi ka naman pwede mag-post ng Tagalog, Bisaya sa page nila if their audience is actually American people. So I have no choice. It doesn't last long, for about like 6 months or so. Then I decided to become a Shopify virtual assistant since I know Facebook ads. Then I decided to like become a Shopify VA as product researcher and Facebook ads specialist where I do manage the products that they are advertising nung uso pa ang dropshipping. So dropshipping is basically parang reseller dito sa atin. So you find a supplier and then you post their product, and then pag meron kang benta, then si supplier na yung magpa-pack ship and mag-aasikaso ng order na nagaling sa iyo. So parang ganun yung concept ng dropshipping dito sa atin. So, yun, after sa pagiging Shopify virtual assistant, then I become, an Amazon PPC. I started pala as Amazon product researcher, virtual assistant. But the thing about that is hindi ako medyo nagtagal kasi medyo time consuming and hindi madaling maghanap ng ng product para sa mga kliyente, but that's actually a good start already. for me, na-introduce sa akin yung pagiging isang Amazon like product researcher kasi ginagawa ko noon, basically from the word itself, product researcher, trabaho kong maghanap ng product na pwede nilang maibenta sa Amazon. Amazon is basically the largest, biggest e-commerce platform or shopping platform in the world. So, sobrang daming kliyente sa Amazon talaga kasi there are like millions of sellers na nasa Amazon ngayon. It's just that you just have to find them and look and understand anong klaseng tulong yung kailangan nila sa Amazon store nila. And this is what I'm going to discuss in a moment. Now, after being a product researcher, naging Amazon PPC virtual assistant ako. So, about like around 2018 or somewhere in 2019, first quarter. And then, yun na, dito na ako nagtagal up until now. I'm still doing like, helping Amazon PPC client, which is ang pinakatrabaho ko, managing their advertising efforts doon sa mga product na binibenta nila sa Amazon. So, yun yung pinaka ginagawa ko. Pero, we're not gonna talk deeper into that, but this is what I'd like to talk about na if you wanted to become a virtual assistant, these are the 6 crucial steps that you need to understand and to follow in order for you to become a virtual assistant and basically have a proper expectation on what you needs to do in order for you na makasave ng time in terms of like choosing what's gonna be the right skill for you. So, number one, wag natin patagalin, setting proper expectation. This is number one kasi so that napakaraming misconception out there na parang ang dali lang kumita ng 6-digit per month sa pagiging VA. Though some skilled like professionals, it's actually true. Like let us say you are a graduate of like an IT, you are a software developer, you are a programmer, etc. Those were something na pinag-aralan mo na back when you were in college. So basically, when you decide to become like let us say a web designer, web developer, or web programmer, you have a ready skill already that you can offer to your client. So basically, if mabenta nila ng maayos yung skill nila sa kliyente, even just like few months, then they can like easily make 6-digit per month because being a web programmer are one of the high paying like virtual skill ngayon. But for most cases, let's just set like proper expectation that it's not gonna be that easy to make 6-digit per month, right? It's true that it's possible, but it's not gonna be that easy for most of us. So things that you have to understand is understanding the freelancing landscape. So ano ba mga kailangan mong gawin, ano mga kailangan mong i-prepare, and ano yung mga expectations na kailangan mong malaman muna, right? So the reality of freelancing versus common meets, which is yun na yun, that's one thing, yung so parang andali kumita ng 6-digit. Number 2 is that pag nasa bahay ka, hindi siya like tawag nito yung parang papindot-pindot lang, which is some of the content creators are actually trying to show na parang andali lang pag nasa bahay ka. So pretty much almost the same thing. There will be like challenges na even though you are working at home, there will be some tawag nito kumbaga obstacle that you have to understand. So what I'm trying to say is that it's not gonna be that easy, but it's not gonna be that like super hard as well once you get this things na kailangan mong malaman in order for you to be prepared kung ano yung mga kailangan mo i-prepare. Then setting realistic financial expectation. Like I'm always saying this, that if you have a basic skills, do not expect for you to make like 6-digit per month. Kasi it has to be like balanced and reasonable sa side ng kliyente kasi they are doing business, right? Even ikaw, if you own a business, would you give like a 6-digit salary for someone who is doing a very small impact to your business? Normally, hindi, right? Kasi you would, probably allot those like salary to someone na malaki yung impact sa company. So, that's pretty much the same thing here sa atin. So, yung mga kliyente natin, wag natin silang like ibudol in terms of what are the skills that we're offering to them. Like if you have a basic skills, then let's not expect that we get that high salary rate, right? So setting proper financial expectation, and this is what I'm trying to say, na pag virtual assistant ka, which is like ko sinasabi sa kanila, you have to be prepared talaga with your skills before you dive into this situation. And then number 4, ang pagiging freelancers, walang backer. I mean, meron if merong mga like let's say friend mo na pinagkatiwalaan na ng kliyente na siya yung mag-hire, siya yung magdesisyon, and then if mabait yung friend mo, then papasukin ka niya even if you have no knowledge or skill or experience. But very rare yung mga ganyang cases. So sa pagiging virtual assistant, it's really based on skills and knowledge talaga. Right? If you wanna be successful sa pagiging isang virtual assistant, gain some skill, gain some knowledge, gain some confidence, and set proper expectation sa sarili mo based on a certain situation kung nasaang level ka na. Right? And then it's gonna be continuous learning process and improvement. So if you learn some specific skill, then it needs to be a continuous learning kasi from time to time, the development of like the digital space are rapidly growing talaga, especially yung mga AI right now. There are things na ginagawa like for how many days manually na nagagawa ng AI ngayon for just few minutes, few seconds. All right? And then work life balance, depende na lang siguro to sa tao, but I decided to become a VA before nung nasa BPO ako, and I have this like tawag nito, I have this perception that I'm gonna be free with 9 to 5 na set off. I'm gonna be free, like I can work what do you call that? I can work anytime. I mean, I can work anywhere I want. Although it's possible, but what actually happens to me is that pero depende na rin yan sa sa kliyente na makuha mo on how strict you wanted to be sa requirement na client na i-accept mo. Kasi there will be clients that they will require you to work on this specific hours like graveyard or flexible time and etc. It totally depends, but if there's something that I could highly suggest if you're just starting out, focus on learning specific skills. And then as soon as you master specific skills, then maybe you can decide na makapagpili na ng kliyente na gusto mo. Like you prefer a flexible time, you prefer to work in the morning, like you prefer to work anywhere and etc. So what I'm trying to say here is that it's gonna be always like that. So there will be client na they will require you to work at graveyard shift. There will be client na yung workload ng trabaho, instead of like working just 8 hours, you'll probably work like 10 hours or so if you will get like multiple clients. Pero depende rin, if you wanted to get multiple clients, then chances are posibleng mangyari sa inyo yun. Kasi some of the people that are making 6-digit per month are actually some of them are handling multiple clients. But depende na lang yun sa sa magiging diskarte mo on how you would handle that, whether i-outsource mo siya, patrabaho mo sa iba while getting the client and etc. But that's some other discussion, right? Then dealing with rejection and failures, that's gonna be like meron talagang failures, so better expect that na once you get rejected by a certain client, just move on. Do not take it personally, don't take it like emotionally, like on a deeper level, kasi it will only affect you. Tapos yung client na nag-reject sa'yo, wala nang paki sa'yo, kinalimutan ka na niya, the client move on to the other person na ma-interview niya na, etc. And then, wala, sa'yo lang yung magiging, kumbaga, negatibong balik. Me po sana, need po talaga to ng shift to remote from working setup. Yeah, possible po yan, but let's consider some things muna. Baka mag-fit ito sa iyo, yung work from home na setup. The number 2, choosing and learning the right skills. So as soon as you get the proper expectation, ganito pala yung virtual assistant. This is what I need to do. This is what I need to prepare. This is the reality. And then etc. Then after that, you need to choose a specific skill na. Kasi being a virtual assistant, if you will only say like, I would like to become a virtual assistant, that's very like general, right? Gaya ng sabi ko, that's very general. So number 2, you have to choose a specific skill. Now, when choosing a specific skill, this is the things that you need to do. You need to do market research, right? You need to do market research and try to understand ano ba yung mga iba't ibang virtual assistant. And from there, you try to learn from it. You try to do some research like graphic design, example, right? So you do a self-assessment if okay ba ang graphic design sa'yo. Do you like graphic design? right? Do you have a talent when it comes to being having a creative mind, right? If wala, then you might wanna either you do like pilitin mo yung sarili mo na matuto on that specific skill kahit na hindi mo naman talaga siya gusto, merong ganon, right? And then eventually, as soon as you get to learn on that specific skill na, like let's say graphic design, even though you're not a graphic designer, nagugustuhan mo na rin eventually. Or you get to decide to choose a specific skill na kung saan yun talaga yung gusto mo, right? So you do a market research, look for different types of virtual assistant skill, you do a self-assessment if yan ba talaga yung gusto mo. And then third is skill diversification or specialization. Both are actually good, depende na lang kung ano yung mag-work sa inyo. Diversification is having multiple like skills. Like you can do graphic design, video editing, you can do social media management, you can do like web design, you can do like Facebook ads, TikTok ads, and etc. So you have so many skills. Versus specialization. Like me, I'm specializing only about Amazon PPC advertising management. So it's totally up to you for you to decide kung ano yung mas mag-work sa'yo. Ikaw na bahala, right? And then formal education or self-taught. So formal education, like yung mga trainings na mga groups like this, mga paid trainings versus self-taught. Both actually has some benefits, but both meron ding mga like disadvantages. Starting with like, let's say formal education. Formal education, it will help you a lot in terms of cutting the time ng pag-aaral on specific skills. Kasi you don't need to go left and right na just to figure out what's wrong and what's right. Right? Kasi there will be a coach, a group of people, an expert who will guide you already kung ano yung mga gagawin mo from basic to advanced in terms of learning specific skills. So naka-ready made na lahat, right? Meron ng someone who will guide you like an expert on what to do and what not to do. That's the advantage, right? Versus a self-taught, it's still like beneficial. There's a lot of like free content, valuable free content, YouTube, Google, websites, mga freelancing groups, and etc. They're actually offering like some trainings as well. They're giving some value information in terms of how to become a virtual assistant. But the disadvantage is that there's no like proper structure kasi the information will come from different sources which will possibly result na baka malito ka na kung ano yung mga bagay na gagawin mo. Kasi every VA, right? There's a lot of them has a different processes as well. And then when you're just starting out, baka mamaya malito ka, ganito yung proseso ng isa, then yung isa ganito, etc. So baka ma-discourage ka pa kung ano yung mga dapat mong gawin. So pero gaya na sabi ko, if there's something that I could suggest here is to do like a formal education talaga for you to cut the learning curve in terms of learning a specific skill versus self-taught. Self-taught is a supplementary, in my opinion, like after attending to a formal like trainings, then you do like, supplement your knowledge with other sources. Kasi when you do that, it's a lot easier for you to identify whether this process is still relevant or maybe not. All right? And then learning platforms and resources, like maraming mga nag-offer na mga VA courses like us, but we were one of those, Sandbox VA. Then practice the application. So whatever you have learned from someone, from trainings, it's extremely important that you practice what you have learned. You apply it kasi that's the best way, in my opinion, in order for you na like ma-absorb mo talaga yung natutunan mo versus just listening to someone or listening to a pre-recorded video lessons sa mga offer na tinitake na, sa mga courses na tinitake natin. And then networking and mentorship, it's important to connect with people that are relevant to the skills that you are offering, that you are trying to learn. Like let's say graphic design, then you go join some group of people, community that are engaged with graphic design related na mga discussions and mentorings, and then ask them questions, like communicate with them, engage with them kasi it will help you a lot. What are the things that they did na pwede mo ring gawin in order for you to become successful in this industry, right? So that's number 2. Number 3 is building your confidence. So this is important na in order for you to build your confidence, number 1, kailangan mong i-master talaga yung skills mo muna. Aralin mo ng aralin. Kasi during the interview with your client, it's between you and your client lang talaga. Wala na yung coach na pinagtanungan mo na nagturo sa iyo. It's between you and your client. So basically, if there will be like questions, technical questions that client is going to ask you, you can answer them confidently. Kasi you know what the client is asking, right? Which is extremely important that when dealing with client, sobrang importante na ma-feel mo sa kanila na kaya mo silang tulungan doon sa gusto nilang ipatrabaho sa iyo. All right? So, let's discuss that later on lang siguro, but you know, gaining your confidence, unang-una dapat may self-reflection and self-awareness ka. Right? Kaya ko na ba talaga to? Do I have enough knowledge already? Right? Like when somebody asks me these questions, can I answer it confidently? Yung mga ganun bagay. So, ibig sabihin, if you think that medyo kulang pa yung skills mo, then I would suggest na for you to hone that specific skills yet. Aralin mo munang mabuti, prepare your knowledge, prepare your skills before you look for a client. This is extremely important. Although there are some people that works na kung saan they prefer to look for a client, and then as soon as makakuha na sila ng client, maklose deal nila, and then doon na nila kumbaga inaaral as soon as they get to have the actual experience talaga. Kasi there are some people that are kinesthetic learner, so natututo lang sila, na-absorb nila ng maayos yung ginagawa, yung isang bagay pag ginagawa nila in actual. So if you are that kind of person, and that's the way for you to learn and become a successful virtual assistant, then by all means, you're all free to do it. But for most cases, right, in general, I would highly suggest for you to really prepare your knowledge and skill, kasi during the interview there will be technical questions that your client is going to ask, which is going to be a strong basis whether they will accept you or not. All right? So, ayun, ito na, sabi ko na, you should have a knowledge and expertise, practice and preparation pa rin, right? You need to practice and prepare, and then you need to have a positive mindset about it. Again, if there's a rejection, just don't take it personally, right? So there's still a lot of hiring opportunities out there na pwede mo mapag-applyan. Networking and social interaction, sabi ko na kanina, setting achievable goals, this is super important, and then handling failures and rejection, right? The number 4 is, as soon as you have set a proper expectation already, you have gained the right skill already, right? Na-master mo na siya, and as soon as you are confident already with the skills that you are trying to offer, next thing is that you need to optimize your social media presence. It needs to be professional, kasi that's one way some of the clients as well, check nila yung mga profiles natin sa Facebook. So I would suggest for you to create a separate Facebook account for work and separate for your personal, where you share a lot of, like, let us say, just like me, I share a lot of memes, and those were the things na hindi dapat makita ng mga kliyente natin. So choosing the right platform, creating a professional profile, creating like content strategy, like let us say if you are an Amazon PPC specialist and you are into LinkedIn, then you go share about Amazon related na mga content, para as soon as they check your account, they check your profile, then at least they can see that this person is actually on this space talaga na in-offer niya. All right? So, engagement and networking, like you go join with community na kung saan andun yung mga kliyente. Like let's say sa case ko sa Amazon, so I join with Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups na kung saan nandun yung mga sellers. They are communicating each other. So ginagawa ko doon, like, you communicate with them. If there's a questions, you comment, you answer the question, you help them until such time na mapansin ka nila, and then some of them will just decide to contact you and do the job. All right? So sobrang importante niyan. Engagement and working, especially LinkedIn, you follow the necessary the relevant people with the skills that you are offering. Then as a virtual assistant, you need to have a visual branding, kasi you need to present yourself as a service provider, as a company, and as a professional, like virtual assistant in general. So sa akin naman, sa case ko, I created an online portfolio, which is this is like totally made from Canva lang din, and then the visual branding that I decide to choose is in terms of color, yung blue, then secondary color yellow, then supplementary color na white, but the dominant one is blue. So kung mapapansin mo, if they will visit to my website, the very first 2 colors na maalaman nila is yung blue and yellow. So you need to have a visual branding and need to be like well presented yung online portfolio natin, that it will communicate right away sa kanila on what is the service that we are offering, right? Visually. So as soon as they visit your freelancing website, it it doesn't need to be like complicated. Dapat maintindihan agad nila what is the service that you can offer and how you can actually help them. Which is yun yung ginawa ko. Like after the creating the profiles, then making my online portfolio and resume. Right? Which is yun na yun. Showcasing your best work, detailing your services, including testimonials and references if necessary or if meron. So, ayun. Basically, those are the things that you need to prepare. The number 6, if you are ready to look for a client already, this is super important na when you see a job post sa mga freelancing website, Upwork or onlinejobs.ph, kasi doon tayo nag-a-apply para sa mga di pa alam, maraming mga job posts doon. It is extremely important that you understand the client's needs. Kasi there's only like one thing that they need from you. They need help from you. So, if you will say that they need help from us, you need to be a solution. Now, the question there is how you fit in yourself as a solution. Right? The only way for you to fit in as a solution doon sa problema nila is you need to become or you need to learn that specific skill. So, babalik pa rin tayo doon na if you want to be successful with this, kailangan mo talagang aralin yung specific na skill na yun. Kasi there's only one thing here. Kailangan nilang tulong and kailangan mong maging solusyon. Alright? And every time that they post, like a job post sa mga freelancing website, there's only 2 things as well, like 2 reasons. Right? Hiring sila kasi wala silang time na gawin yung bagay na yun. Alam nila gawin pero wala silang time. That's why they would look for someone na alam kung paano gawin yung bagay na yun. Right? So meaning to say, kailangan knowledgeable ka. The other reason, pangalawang reason is that hindi nila alam yung gagawin. Kaya naghahanap sila ng expert na kayang gawin yung bagay na yun. So in short, ikaw, since as a virtual assistant, kailangan nila ng expert, kailangan nila may knowledge, you need to prepare yourself. Kasi kung wala kang alam sa bagay na yun, hindi ka rin nila tatanggapin. Right? So that's the reality about this industry. So what I'm trying to say here is that going back sa discussion natin kanina, kailangan mo talagang mag-gain ng skill. Kasi being a virtual assistant alone, without any specific skill, it's gonna be very hard for you to penetrate in this industry. Right? So you need to decide anong skill yung kailangan mong aralin. All right? And then ayun na, which is eto na, naglagay pala ako dito. So when dealing with client, this is the things that you need to do. You build a rapport, active listening, understand the client's core needs, clarify goals and objectives, customize your pitch, offer customized solution, and communicate value clearly. This is something to do with the interview tips, right? When you are communicating with a client, and by the way, let me discuss na lang pala. Kasi importante ito, share ko na lang really quick before I end the my part. So when you are dealing with client, like once you have like you're confident already with your skills, these are the 4 critical steps that you need to do in order for you to ace your interview, right? Common like this is a common step. So the first one is that you need to build a rapport, right? So when you turn on your camera, when you turn on your computer, be confident the way how you deliver. Be confident when you say, "Hi, how are you, client?" Ganito ganyan. How are you doing today? So, you talk, you negotiate. Kasi, once nasa interview ka with a client, do not consider yourself as employee. Although, yes, we're a virtual assistant. In a sense, we are parang like employee. Kaya nga tayo tinawag na assistant. But, I would suggest for you to really consider yourself as a service provider. Right? So, as a service provider, consider it as if it's your own business. Now, if you're a service provider, it's your job, it's our job to ask questions to them. It's our job to negotiate to them, right? Diba? Pag meron tayong business, if we have a client and then kailangan nila ng tulong, there are a couple of things that we need to do. Like let us say sa isang mechanic shop, right? Pag merong lumapit, may sira yung sasakyan, ang ginagawa ng mekaniko, tinatanong yung may-ari ng sasakyan. Anong problema nito, boss? Ganito, ganyan. Paano kita matutulungan? Ganito, ganyan. Tinatanong niya muna. Right? Kailangan niya tanungin kasi para alam ng mekaniko kung saan niya matutulungan yung may problema. Right? Para alam niya kung saan niya i-fit in yung sarili niya as a solution sa problema na yun. And that goes the same like logic on what we're doing as a virtual assistant. You need to be a solution provider doon sa mga problema nila. But this is the first thing that you need to do. Be confident, say hello, say hi, say how are you, build a rapport first, establish a good impression in conversation. Right? Pag turn on ng camera, wag kang tawag nito, tawag dito sa Tagalog, magpaluya-luya. Basta yun na yun. Wag kang, like, be positive, right? Have a positive impression. Now, number 2, after building a rapport, you communicated like, how are you? Ganito ang init dito. Sabi ng client, ang init nga dito. Ganito, ganyan. Mainit pala dyan. Mainit dito sa amin. Ganito, ganyan. So you have like a casual exchange of conversation. And then after that, number 2 is that super important ito, which is ito yung sabi ko kanina. Discovery questions and active listening. Right? You need to ask question. All right, so how can I help you? So when you ask this question, how can I help you? The client now will share the details kung ano yung mga bagay na kailangan niya ng tulong. And this is super, super important kasi you are gathering data here na kung saan yun yung pwede mong maibalik sa kanya later on when you offer your service. And that's why this is super important na before mo i-offer yung service mo, which is something that, you know, a lot of us are actually doing that. Like, pag tinatanong, can you tell me about yourself? Like, sinasabi agad, ganito ako, ganito, ganyan. I have handled client, ganito, ganyan, etc. Which is, in some cases, like, it's still work, but I would suggest that, you know, when dealing with client, try to make it a more, like, a negotiation type of conversation. So you ask question, like discovery questions, gathering data. So you ask them, how can I help you? What's your main challenges right now? What have you done so far with the challenges? What's the current status? And what's going to be the long-term and short-term goal moving forward? These are just example questions, but there are a lot of questions that you can ask to your client depende doon sa problema na meron siya or skills na ino-offer mo. But the point here is that once you ask that question and the client is sharing you the information, that's the most critical part. Kasi you need to figure out what is the pain point of that client. Kasi doon mo siya papasukin na kung saan, okay, ito yung pinaka-problema ng kliyente. Later on, dito ko siya titirahin na kung saan I will offer my service. Right? Kailangan mong gawin yon. So, discovery questions and then active listening. Sobrang importante niyan. Alright? And then, as soon as you gather data already, you need to clarify the information. What are those key points? Key pain points. Recap and confirmation sa kanya mga pain points. Aside sa, you know, reason why you need to do this is para ma-confirm mo kung ano talaga, like you understand each other, naintindihan mo kung ano yung gusto niyang ipagawa. Once you recap kung ano yung concern niya, it's like it's showing to the client that you are really putting some concerns doon sa problema niya. That you are trying to understand kung ano yung problema niya at gusto mo siyang matulungan. And this is something na ginagawa ko rin. Like, every time na merong mga ganito, like, I clarify. Right? So you mentioned earlier that you have a problem with, like, let us say, with your advertising, and this is what's going on, this is what you have done so far. I just want to confirm this so we both, like, you know, so I know that we're on the same page on how I understand what's your problem and how can I help you with this. Right? So let me just, like, clarify things and you know, what we have discussed, you know, a while ago. So you clarify things, and then if the client confirms, yeah, that's my problem, etc. All right. After that, this is the last part, number 4, action plan. So since alam mo na yung problema, I would highly suggest for you to drop some initial action plan and solution. Right? And when you are dropping an initial action plan, get them involved. Right? Get them involved with the conversation or with the action plan. Always use the word we. Right? You need to assume the deal already as if even though hindi pa tapos yung interview or conversation, it's like you are dragging the client already into some action plan na kung saan this is what you need to do already. Like you are providing a solution already. Right? This is an indirect kumbaga sales na kung saan psychologically you are dragging the client into some deal already, like as if you have shook your hands already, right? So get them involved. Like, let us say, sa side ko sa advertising, Amazon advertising. Okay, so that's a problem. I understand now. So what we are going to do is that first, first I need to get an access to your account. I need to gather some data. I need to do some audit, and then I'll get back to you after a day or two as soon as I'm done with the audit, because I need to figure out where the problem is exactly coming from, and it needs to be based on data before I provide you some exact solutions to that specific problem, because there are so many things that needs to be considered, right? Then after that, we can set we can set up another meeting after doing the audit, and then I'll explain you everything what needs to what we need to do in order for us to get that problem resolved, and then moving forward, we can scale or improve the sales of your store. So something along those lines. So basically, you just need to get involved the client to the initial action plan that you are planning to do. Kasi that will show or give them some sort of feeling na kung saan you're you are someone who can help the client already, right? So I call that like assume the deal or assume the sell. So these are extremely important, like 4-step na ginagawa ko when dealing with clients. So number 1, you build the rapport, and then discovery questions, active listening, sobrang importante, and then clarify the key points, and then provide action plan. 4 simple step, yet super effective for my case on how I like control the conversation in favor na ako yung expert and ako yung may alam na pwedeng makatulong sa kanya, right? Although tayo yung nangangailangan, but we need to present ourselves as a solution, right? So yun yung mga kailangan gawin in order for you to become a virtual assistant. That's just a VA 101. Paano siya gagawin yung sa asking questions? Ang first is tell something about yourself. Paano siya gagawin yung sa akin? Asking questions. What yun po, Ma'am Jocelyn? Like, medyo nalito ko ng saglit sa sa question. So ayun, I guess that's basically it about VA 101. Medyo napatagal tayo ng konti, but that's just something that I'd like to share with you guys, that in order for you, like to cut it short, in order for you to become a virtual assistant, you really need to prepare your knowledge. Hindi pwede yung pabara-bara or bahala na to. Testing ako na lang applyan to, baka swertein pa. So I mean, it works sometimes pag maswertein ka ng kliyente na papayag na okay sa ganong setup. But in most cases, it's gonna be like really hard, especially if you are in a corporate right now and you're kind of considering to become a virtual assistant, especially if you are considering to resign already. I would suggest not. I would suggest for you to like get more information as much as possible, ask some questions to some people, and then clarify things if this is right or wrong before you get to decide. And that's something that you need to do. So ayun lang. Any questions, guys? Kasi after this, I'll give the floor to Coach Mel to discuss about like how to become an Amazon like virtual assistant in 2024, and what are the things that you need to do. How to become a highly paid Amazon virtual assistant.
Grabe talaga, highly paid talaga, Coach,
Yes, dapat. Kasi hindi naman talaga like Amazon itself, I mean, hindi naman sa like nang-hype ako. Like if you have the right skill talaga, like if you learn the necessary skill, it's not impossible to get a highly rated na skill talaga. Na rate talaga. So ayun. Anyway, I'll give the floor na to Coach Mel. By the way, si Coach Mel is 6 years season experience Amazon account management.
Yeah, going 7 years na.
Going 7 years already. So there's a lot of information like Coach Mel can share with us, guys. So yeah, I'll give the floor to Coach Mel.
Oh yeah,
Thank
sure.
you, guys.
Yeah, I will try to open my cam. Okay. Yeah, can you see me, everyone? Ayan, walang. First, thank you guys for coming in here. Medyo value bomb na yung binigay ni Coach Ben, which is really an understanding din talaga on what is freelancing in a general term, and at the same time is may mga tips pa siyang binigay sa inyo. So for me naman, yung i-discuss ko sa inyo is about Amazon. So purely Amazon lang muna tayo for now. And then I'm gonna be sharing my screen para mag-present lang muna. Okay. Share screen. Ayan, so this is just the webinar. So introduce ko lang din yung sarili ko. I don't have any picture yet, pero yeah, so I started nga pala working sa freelancing 2010 pa. So yung sa 2010 naman, that time kasi is siya, more on SEO and article writing lang din yung mga tasks. So hindi siya masyadong when it comes to yung Amazon, hindi pa I think na-discover yung Amazon, or siguro hindi ko pa lang talaga siya na-discover. So that's way back when I was still in college, and this is one of the the part-time job na nakuha ko sa freelancing naman. And then after that, syempre since Bisaya, we're not used to very sa English. Talagang Bisaya pure. So I then enhance it to be more communicative naman. So kailangan ko palang enhance yung communication skills ko. So that's why napunta ako sa Manila to apply as a customer service representative. And then bumalik na din ako sa after 2 years lang din yung experience ko. Bumalik na din ako sa hometown ko dito sa Mindanao. So I'm still from Mindanao. Currently I'm Cagayan de Oro City now, pero from Iligan City po talaga yung hometown ko with my parents. So, yun lang. And then I've been working with already sa freelancing for almost 7 years now. And then medyo madami na ding pinagdaanan. Pero andito pa rin. So, yung sinasabi nila before na yung freelancing is not, yun nga, hindi daw parang stable. Yes, partly true, hindi siya stable for as long as you are resilient naman, makakakuha ka din ng client eventually, lalo na if may experience and skills ka na talaga dito sa freelancing world na very unique of you naman. So hindi siya skills ng kapitbahay mo, hindi siya skills ng colleague mo, but skills na meron ka as of them. Yun nga. So yung i-share ko sa inyo today is si Amazon. Okay, so if you are familiar sa mukhang to, this is Jeff Bezos. Siya po yung founder ng Amazon.com. Si Amazon.com po is actually a multinational company nga siya based in Seattle, Washington. Pero mas naging known po siya doon sa e-commerce platform niya, which is the Amazon.com. So when you say Amazon.com, it's just the Lazada and Shopee of the Philippines. Pero same lang din siya. Pero sa Amazon is nasa US siya. So US-based sila. And then may differences din when it comes to Shopee sellers or Lazada sellers than the Amazon sellers. So ito na nga. So ano yung mga primary service niya? So since multinational company siya, meron siyang web services. Ito yung cloud computing niya. Meron siyang Kindle for the e-books. Meron din siyang Prime for the subscription service naman. And then meron din siyang Amazon Marketplace. Yun nga, na may mga third-party sellers to list or sell their products online. And then, ano yung mga geos? Currently, mga active na mga location ni Amazon is nasa United States, Canada, Mexico. Meron na po siyang United Kingdom, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, Netherlands, Sweden, Poland, Turkey, Saudi, United Arab, UAE, Japan, China, Australia, Singapore, Brazil, and Egypt. And I think meron na din, growing pa din yung mga geos ni Amazon kasi gusto na din nila yung global expansion naman yung focus for the next few years. And then, si Amazon? Why there is Amazon VA nga pala? So, come to think of it na lang as a retail store. So, again, si Amazon VA is still a virtual assistant nga lang siya, pero nag-specialize ka lang into managing Amazon seller accounts or into doing the task for the sellers or for the CEOs or yung mga may-ari. So, ano yung for me lang naman to, it's just a comparison. So if we say retail store, like the brick and mortar, like mga SM, mga Robinson, may mga ganito kasing mga ito kasi yung parang lineage nila, 'di ba? So merong CEO, yung may-ari, meron tayong mga managers, may mga higher up managers, may mga managers naman na lower up lang din. And then may mga supervisors tayo, may mga supply chain, may mga marketing, at saka din yung mga employees natin na nasa mall. So they are the regular employees. So bakit si Amazon has the same structure nga lang din sa SM? Kasi po, yung most na makikilala mo sa Amazon space are all trying to be the CEO. They are the CEO, seller, medyo malaki talaga yung medyo malaki talaga yung function nila when it comes to managing their business. Kaya may mga hinahire silang managers, may mga hinahire silang supervisors, may hinahire silang mga marketing team, may mga supply chain team sila because they act as CEO talaga din dito sa Amazon. Especially if you'll be dealing with talagang big companies, it's very din yung structure nila, like super retail store din yung structure nila when it comes to their company. So kaya may mga Amazon VA kasi nga because of it. Kasi CEO lang talaga, founder, CEO yung seller. So sa Lazada kasi or sa Shopee, tayo kasing mga Filipino, we usually parang it's na din sa atin na very hands-on, 'di ba? Hands-on tayo sa mga ginagawa natin. Like yung mga sellers sa Shopee and Lazada, sila na yung nagma-market, sila na yung ng mga supply nila, sila yung humahanap ng mga kliyente nila, like mga customers. Sa supply chain naman, sila yung sila yung nagso-source ng suppliers kung saan sila bibili ng mga products nila, and then sila na din yung magli-list. Sa Amazon kasi hindi ganyan yung structure. So kaya naghahanap po, kaya po may mga Amazon VAs kasi si seller po really acts as a CEO din talaga sa loob. And then meron pong mga 4 business model yung Amazon. So makikita niyo po mostly to sa mga job description. So ayan, meron po silang RA or OA, or should I say yung retail arbitrage at saka online arbitrage. So yung ginagawa ng mga seller na to is nagpo-purchase sila ng mga product on a discounted or clearance items lang nga from a retail stores or online stores, and then nagre-resell din sila sa Amazon.com at a higher price. Yung pinagkaiba lang naman talaga ni retail arbitrage at ni OA or ni online arbitrage is nagso-source sila or bumibili sila ng products. Pag si retail arbitrage, bumibili sila sa mga retail stores, like mga physical brick and mortar stores. Doon sila bumibili. So si OA naman or online arbitrage, yung purchasing mo ng mga items mo is nangyayari lang talaga online. So wala kayong with the retail, wala kayong iba yung online iba yung online website lang bumili at saka iba yung sa brick and mortar naman talaga, yung may mga physical stores. And then meron ding mga private label. So si private label, ito yung mga sellers na nagke-create talaga ng branding nila ng own products nila, and then nagso-source lang din sila ng manufacturers coming from different countries. So very popular si China, yung sa Alibaba, pero may iba pa ding mga countries na mga source of manufacturers din. And then yung sa private label kasi is own products na talaga yung produce, own packaging, own everything about the seller na to. Hindi na siya like nagpo-purchase lang sa ibang mga retail stores or online retail stores, 'di ba? So and then we also have a wholesale. Yung sa wholesale naman, it's the same with the purchasing naman of the products pero in bulk na. So when you say, kahit nga dito sa Pilipinas, when we say na punta tayo doon tayo bumili sa wholesale kasi mas mura. So parang ganun din yung structure ni wholesale. Yung sa wholesale naman, sila mostly yung nagmamay-ari ng mga online arbitrage stores, and then pina-plug nila lahat doon yung mga nabili nilang mga bulk products sa mga distributors din naman na sa mga resellers din. Pero si OA yung bibili mostly ng mga products ni wholesale para naman i-distribute dun sa Amazon. And then we also have yung yung dropshipping. So si dropshipping naman is lang siya, nagli-list lang sila ng products sa Amazon, pero yung fulfillment, meaning kung saan nangyayari yung packing of the products until the delivery of the products is dun galing sa mga source nilang, mga manufacturing sources nila. It could be from the retail stores lang din sa US or mga online retail stores sa US, for as long as nagpa-follow pa din sila ng mga rules for the drop shipping. So ganun lang siya. Wala silang binibigay kay Amazon, but rather it's ano lang. It's a pure list lang, and then they manufacture it, and then they fulfill it by themselves using their partnered naman na mga manufacturers, wholesalers, or online stores naman nila. And then ito naman yung mga roles and responsibilities ni Amazon VA. Kasi si Amazon VA is a very, very ano siya, broad. Very broad siya in a sense na ang dami mong mga roles and responsibilities na naka-tied up sa'yo, which is different doon sa PPC. Kasi sa PPC, yung handle lang nila is, or Amazon PPC, yung hinahandle lang nila, yung buong advertising platform. Si Amazon Account Management or si Amazon Account Specialist or si Amazon Account Coordinators, ang daming jargon, ang daming name, pero ang dami po ng responsibilities na ginagawa ng isang Amazon VA or Amazon Account Manager. So, one of it is the product development. May mga client po tayo na humahanap talaga ng mga profitable products, and then i-develop nila yon. Siyempre sa development, may product research, may product sourcing, may packaging material, packaging label preparations, may mga listing preparations, yung may mga ganon. So it's still under product development. And then sometimes if yung mga new clients, you will be given this task, yung mga product development task. And then meron ding mga catalog management. Yung sa catalog management naman, dito nangyayari yung mga listing creation and maintenance. So hindi necessary na tayo yung magsusulat ng mga listing copies sa Amazon, but rather we will just create it and then make sure na running smoothly yung mga listing. Walang mga suppressed errors, walang mga removal of the listings sa loob ng ng Amazon space. And then sometimes pag sobrang lang ni client, like very beginner pa si client talaga, yung small sellers lang, sometimes may involve po tayong PPC, campaign management. Ito naman yung nagsiset up ka and then nag-create ka ng mga ad campaigns. Yung sa mga structure kasi ng mga big clients, they already have their own PPC team. Pero yung mga bago pa lang din sa platform, they usually have all of these roles and responsibilities, including na po yung PPC doon. And then meron din po siyang inventory and order management. So ito naman is ensure mo lang na timely yung pag-restock and order fulfillment ng mga products niyo. Kasi sa Amazon may dalawa kasi siyang fulfillment options. Yung tinatawag na FBA and FBM, or fulfilled by Amazon and fulfilled by merchant. So fulfilled by Amazon meaning is magsisend si seller or yung client mo ng mga inventory or mga products niya sa loob ng Amazon warehouse. And then si Amazon na po yung magpipick, magpapack, and then magsisend ng shipment sa mga customers kung sino man po yung bibili sa product ni client. Yung sa FBM naman is you will just list it inside Amazon, pero yung magpo-fulfill ng mga orders, pick, pack, and ship is si client mismo or yung warehouse ni client. So kailangan, even though kahit ano dyan, FBA or FBM, kailangan mo din talaga na-ensure na yung mga restocking nyo with your products is on time. And then isa din po siya sa mga responsibilities ng isang VA or account manager ng isang brand. And then meron din po tayong customer service. Ito naman yung mga nag-handle ng mga inquiries, mga returns, mga complaints, mga messages, mga feedbacks doon sa loob ng Seller Central. And then yung mga reviews na din. And then also one of the is the reporting and analytics. So dito mo gagawin yung mga analyzation. So kailangan mong i-analyze yung mga sales data mo, kailangan mong i-analyze yung advertising performance mo. Kahit nasa account management ka, it's very important then to understand kung ano yung nangyayari sa advertising platform naman. Hindi din kasi doable for an account management na walang understanding sa advertising, kasi tied up kasi yung organic or organic and PPC. So kailangan team up kasi sila. So dapat kailangan din na may advertising related kahit very brief lang siya na experience with the advertising on how you can analyze data there, okay din po siya. And then yung sa overall account health din siya. Sometimes din sa reporting and analytics, nagpo-provide po si Amazon account assistant or manager ng mga insights or mga recommendations based nga lang din sa mga data na nakuha niya coming from the seller, coming from the account mismo. And then meron ding mga compliance and risk management. Kasi nga geo-based talaga si Amazon. May mga iba't ibang compliances po every countries and every countries na nagsisell siya. So ito naman is ang trabaho din ni Amazon Account Assistant or Manager is to ensure na yung mga products and listings nila is nagko-comply talaga sa Amazon policies. And then meron ding tinatawag sa loob na account health. Dito mo din makikita yung mga policy violation, mga suspension, mga account health issues ng mga listing or products nyo. So very wide talaga yung scope as an Amazon account manager or an Amazon account VA din. And then, yung sa expansion and growth strategies, if you will be the Amazon account manager, you should have this. So kailangan may identify yung mga opportunities for growth, and then such as the expansion of the markets, mga product lines, and then mag-i-implement ka ng strategies to really scale the business. Kasi parang nag-aaka talaga ng Amazon account manager. Ikaw, like manager ng mga stores dito sa Philippines. 'Di ba pag manager ka sa bank, or should I say sa bank managers ka, 'di ba may mga expansion, mga growth strategies kayong mga ini-implement just to make sure na running, makakuha kayo ng mga accounts ng mga new accounts inside sa bank, mga new ano ba, mga credit card customers, mga bago, mga ganyan, kailangan may continuous growth dan talaga yung mga yung bank, yung stores niyo para lumago, 'di ba? So the same with the seller, with the Amazon naman. Kailangan din may mga ganito kayong mga strategical expansion, mga meetings. Usually it happens in the meetings, and then if you will be acting as the account manager, ito yung usual na kailangan mong gawin. And then meron din tayong account setup and maintenance. So sa account setup and maintenance talaga, dito mo ensure na everything is running smoothly inside the account. Again, yung Amazon account VA, should I say virtual assistant, is a general term lang siya, pero kailangan mo siyang i-make into two. Meron kang Amazon account specialist, and then meron kang Amazon account manager. Si specialist is mostly those VAs na gumagawa ng mga legworks. Pero when it comes to Amazon account management, possible na may legworks din yung mga basic tasks ni Amazon, pero primarily mas siya for account growth strategies, mga analytics, mga expansion stuff, and anything that will grow the account. Yun yung So parang sa Amazon kasi, the same as the retail store, the higher you are, the more salary you can get. Para din siyang sa Amazon, para din siyang sa mga retail stores. Let's say parang if sales lady ka lang, 'di ba? Hindi naman siya malaki sahod pag sales lady. Pero pag nasa supervisor ka na, meaning or team leader ka na, meaning mas malaki na yung sahod mo. And then how much more will you be if magiging account manager ka, mas magiging mataas din yung rate mo. And then after account manager, meron pa yan. May mga account director, Amazon directors. Ito naman yung operational side na talaga na lahat ng scope kailangan mong tingnan. So yung sa PPC, yung sa ibang aspect ng business, sa supply chain, ganun. And then meron din po siyang talagang mga VP. Ito naman yung the same structure nga dun sa mga retail store. Pag VP ka, meaning you are really close to the CEO. So ikaw yung kasunod ni CEO. So ganun din. The higher you are, the higher the salary is. So ganun din yung setup niya for Amazon naman. Ito lang din yung mga na-learn kong mga soft skills. So sa soft skills kasi na na-learn ko, based na din to sa pangkalahatang experience ha. Resilience. Pag sa Amazon ka, you need to be resilient and you can handle stress. Kasi po, walang sugar coating. There are things na there are really stuff na mag-create ng stress sa iyo. And then resourcefulness. Kasi po yung sa Amazon, hindi pwede na hindi ka resourceful. Kailangan if there are things na hindi mo magawa, make sure that you will research, make sure that you will tap any colleague mo na possible may experience for this kind of issues or mga tasks doon sa loob. And then adaptability and flexibility. Yun nga sabi ni Coach kanina na when it comes to flexibility, may mga clients po tayo na nag-work during the nighttime or graveyard shift. Meron din pong mga clients who is not coming from the US mostly. Meron din mga UK clients. Sila naman nasa mid-shift sila. So they work usually at 4:30 p.m. or 5:30 p.m. here in the Philippines and then going up. And then there are also there are also clients na kahit nasa US, nasa UK, pag okay lang sa kanila na mag-work ka during your daytime. Again, you need to be flexible and at the same time, you need to adapt whatever it is inside your client's process or your client's managerial stuffs na din. So kailangan mo kasing i-let go. Like for example, if you will be going to a new to a new company, you have to take off the things that you learn from the other company and then start it fresh with your new company kasi magkakaiba po sila ng process, although they are selling on the same platform like Amazon.com, pero yung yung nila, yung mga processes nila sa loob pwede ding magkaiba. So it's not always na magkaparehas. Pero sometimes for small sellers naman, yung mga hindi pa masyadong malaki sa Amazon, mostly they are following the same structure. Pero yun nga, meron din talagang difference. Kahit the same structure, may mga difference pa din. And then you need to held accountable and responsible to whatever you do inside the account. So since si Amazon is a very hard skill based talaga siya na virtual assistant job, you need to be accountable to whatever it is that you are doing inside the account. Kailangan may responsibility. Kailangan if you make a mistake, you own up to your mistake. Hindi ka pwedeng magtuturo, kasi siya, ganito, ganito, ganyan. No, you have to own it and then you need to reflect on it and then you just need to make sure sa client mo na I will take note of that. I as much as possible I don't want to happen it again. Yung mga ganun. Parang bigyan mo ng assurance si client. And then go getter. Minsan kasi sa Amazon, mga Amazon VAs or mga Amazon account managers na nagfa-flourish din talaga yung careers nila with Amazon is they are always the go-getter person. Sila yung kahit sobrang hirap na ng mga tasks, pero meron pa rin silang drive na I can do this and then they will eventually do it. Ganun kasi yung mga mostly nasa very higher level na or yung mga sinasabi nilang nasa director position na kasi may mga director position pa din na mga I know someone na director na siya sa isang company ng Amazon and then he's getting paid really on that 6-figure talaga. And then meron din po tayong pasensya kasi si Amazon po is a very complex platform. Meron every day you might encounter a lot of challenges sa account. You might encounter as well some very yung mga problem, mga issues na hindi na resolve agad-agad. So kailangan mapasensya talaga tayo and then kahit sobrang pressure niyo na to resolve that, still meron pa din po kayong meron pa rin kayong positive vibes na mare-resolve ko din to siya and eventually. And then you always need to seek help. If you know someone who is really very with the Amazon account management, you try to ask questions kasi baka matulungan din kayo. And then yung problem solving skills. Ito yung mga as a nanay, as a mom, it's na din sa atin, natural for the moms here. It's very natural sa atin na very problem solver talaga tayo, no? When it comes to dealing with our family and all of that. Madadala niyo po siya, madadala niyo po yung skill na yan sa trabaho niyo po sa Amazon. Kasi ang dami kasi talagang problema. What I say is very complex talaga yung platform. And then yung time management din. So as a nanay, I know we can juggle a lot of stuffs na din. Siguro this is the very unique na din skills for a mom na nag-work sa Amazon. Yung mga time management stuff. Kasi as ginagawa natin to every day with our family. Yung minamanage, yung ang dami natin ginagawa at the same time. And then magagawa niyo po din yan during your Amazon account Amazon management career. So very ano siya, very it's always naman existing talaga yung soft skills na to doon sa Amazon platform. Kailangan you can manage your time well kasi madami kang gagawin in a day. Hindi ka lang gagawa lang, like for example, for social media manager, may mga social media manager na yung ginagawa lang nila is just to post. 'Di ba? Post yung mga social media posts na nakita natin. Dito kasi sa Amazon, you can be the listing account VA or listing account manager, meaning ikaw pa yung gagawa ng listing, ikaw pa yung magmo-monitor ng listing, ikaw pa din yung magre-resolve if may issue yung listing. So ganun po yung ganun po yung structure ng mga tasking. And then sometimes yung sa mga account manager position naman, ikaw yung mag-handle lahat. Like for example, yung end-to-end operations, kailangan yung account is running in good condition. Sometimes ikaw pa yung magiging customer service, ikaw pa yung magiging analytics, and then sometimes nga close collaboration with the other teams is also part of it. And then yung courageous, yung bang sobrang brave mo kahit it's very new to you. Like for example, Amazon ka tapos si client gusto mag-expand sa Walmart or sa ibang platform and then wala kang experience, don't just say no. Just try to learn the platform. Sabihin mo sa kanya, yes. Do you have any reference or mga video tutorials na makaka-learn ako on how to navigate Walmart effectively, on how I can add listing to Walmart. So yung naging ticket ko kasi with Amazon is I always say yes. Kasi I resourceful kasi ako. So whenever I face a very difficult task, nagre-research ako kung ano yung gagawin ko, kung ano yung mga usual ginagawa ng mga tao to resolve this one. And then ina-apply ko siya each. Like yung ito strategy 1, strategy 2, strategy 3. Kung ano yung nag-work doon, yun din yung isusulat kong process ko. Sa kasi sa freelancing guys, you need to be parang sinusulat niyo yung mga things that you did na nag-work for you, like mga processes niyo. Yung sa Amazon, sa ibang VA, yung sinabi ni coach kanina, yung mga ibang VA may kanya-kanya silang process, ikaw din you should have your own process too. Kasi kahit saan ka pa ilagay, kahit anong company ka pa ilagay, pag may base process ka na sa'yo lang talaga, na naiintindihan mo kung paano mo gawin, you can adopt it naman sa new company mo. Though may mga iba doon na hindi na magme-make sense, pero but the thing is na meron ka ng mga copy ng mga processes mo, alam mo na kung ano yung gawin. Alam mo na kung saan yung hindi pwede, kung saan lang din yung pwede dito for this account or for this company. So ganun din siya. So again, yung sinasabi nilang freelancing is not for everyone, which is it's true, guys. Freelancing is not for everyone talaga. Yung mga mahinang loob, guys, you need to enhance that. Kasi pag mahina yung loob mo dito sa freelancing, hindi ka talaga magsa-survive. Yung sinabi ni coach kanina, you need to be confident. You need din talaga to be confident. And then I started out as having a salary of 20,000 way back 2005. 2015. Yun yung first client ko. And then yung ginawa ko lang doon is I'm a product research. Same kami ni coach, product research din, pero wholesale platform naman yung nag-start ako. And then nag-learn ako or nag-enroll ako sa course for Amazon account management for private label. Yung focus ko kasi right now is for the private label. Kasi dito ko nakikita na may growth ako. Growth coming from my personal experience and also growth talaga sa platform. So hindi ka talaga parang maboboard. Kung sino yung dito, may mga tao kasi na ayaw ng routinary task. Gusto nila may challenge sila everyday. Ito, Amazon. It will really challenge you every day of your life na nagwo-work ka for an Amazon account management. Yun. And then I started out 20,000. That's a very base based ano talaga siya. And then although ano ako sa client for 5 years kasi si client is a very na din siya sa akin. 5 years akong naging sa kanya. And then although I already have like a second client, yan yun sa private label naman, and then pero kinip ko pa rin siya. Yun nga, meron lang din akong assistants who will also do the research for me. Yun yung sabi ni coach na yung mga seasoned freelancers right now, hindi na sila mostly yung naglalegwork kasi may mga assistant na. Pero for someone naman na on a level na nasa director level ng mga jobs, they usually do the job. Sila yung naglalegwork kasi mahirap kasi makompensate yung quality ng gawa mo versus yung sa other. Oo, 20K for a month, full-time yun. And then after 4 years, guys, after 4 years ko pa nakuha yung first ever six-figure client ko. Six-figure client sa isang client lang. So hindi siya dalawang client six-figure, no. It's just only one client six-figure. That's on 2022 after 4 years of working as an Amazon account VA. Hindi po siya talaga work in the park. Hindi din po siya yung sinasabi nilang na yung mostly misconception kasi pag sabi ni coach pag freelancer six-figure agad. Six-figure can be because madami silang accounts at tapos may mga assistant sila, or six-figure yung goal ko kasi for myself is six-figure with just one client alone. So yun yung drive ko over the past years na to be better sa platform so that I can have a client na six-figure talaga yung mapipay niya. I really thought na impossible siya before. Like sabi ko, sino namang magbibigay ng ganyan? It's very it's very very 'di ba? Six-figure. Pero meron pala talaga, especially if you are in the right company. So luckily that was 2022 pero nag-pregnant kasi ako by that. So 2023 nung nanganak ako, nilet go ko yung client because I don't want so much stress kasi bagong kapanganak lang. And then nag-ano lang din ako ng work na it really pays it really still pays premium, pero ano din siya, pero hindi na siya six-figure. And then right after this year, I'm again ready to take on some challenges again, to take on more responsibility. And that's why I got my another six-figure client naman. So my second six-figure client. And this time, I'm on the right company na. I'm in the right company kasi although yung time ko is until 2 a.m., yun nga, flexibility with the time, it always comes with the price, guys. So until 2 a.m. yung work, pero pwede na ako mag-log out by 1 a.m. I don't have any tracker and I have unlimited paid time off. So yun yung mga perks ko with this new company who pays me six-figure naman for this time. Ayan. Yun nga, manage your expectations talaga when working inside Amazon account management kasi my testimonial it will not also be the same as your testimonial or as the other testimonials that they have or kahit sa ibang tao na mga testimonials na maririnig nyo na siya naka six-figure siya naka 50,000 naman siya. It's up to you on how you will deal it. Yung mapoprovide lang ng Sandbox is to give you an idea of what is in our space or to give you something na hard skill para sa inyo, pero it's still up to you on how you will do it. Ganun. Yes po, current company ko ngayon sa Amazon. Company siya from the US, and then my role right now is the junior brand manager. And then my senior brand manager pa din ako. Yung senior brand manager ko is in the United States na siya. So from the US team. Ang dami nating dito competitor when it comes to Amazon account VA. Hindi lang Filipino yung magiging competitor mo sa space, but you also have Pakistani brothers and sisters, including the Indian people. May mga European na din na nag-work from home doing Amazon account management, and then yung mga coming from the United States talaga. Meron din doon lahat, like marami-rami na sila now that after pandemic, dumami sila actually yung mga US team or mga US citizens na nag-work from home na din. So hindi na lang tayo Filipino yung makikinabang with the Amazon space. Meron na ding mga ibang lahi natin na might be our competitor. So again, it's up to you na din if you will still wanted to be in this space. But for me, it's thriving. It's thriving for me naman so far. John Philip Cañete, what platform did you find your 6 digits client now, coach? I'm LinkedIn. Sorry guys, LinkedIn po. Hindi kasi ako kasi ever since na nag-work ako online, wala akong minsan mawalan ako ng client, pero after a month meron na din ulit akong client. And then usually yung dumadating sa akin is inbound. Yung nagme-message lang sa akin, nakikita lang yung profile ko. Yung technique pala doon sa LinkedIn, ito yung mga tips na hindi ko alam before, pero ano pala talaga, my connection with how my client find me sa LinkedIn. So yung sa LinkedIn naman is ang dami ko pong connections na CEO. So lahat ng mga connection ko doon sa LinkedIn, ano po siya, mga CEO, mga agency owners sa US. At saka nagko-comment din po ako. Nagko-comment. Yung sabi ni coach na networking, na kailangan magpakita ka din. Yes, you need to be visible sa mga client. Mag-comment ka. And then yung yung power pala ng LinkedIn is nakikita ka ng connection din. Kahit hindi mo pa connect yung taong yon, nakikita ka pa rin pala, visible ka pala kasi you are in the LinkedIn space. Nandiyan yung sa LinkedIn na kailangan, yun nga din yung, if you are focusing on Amazon, make sure your connections are all for Amazon. Para mahanap ka talaga. Anong keywords po para makita mga Amazon sellers sa LinkedIn? Meron naman, ang dami naman so far. Search ka lang ng Amazon doon. Lalabas na 'yan. Ayan. Pwede din si Mag. Si Mag is a lot of connections. Kahit nga in network marketer, should I say, mga service-based lang din na mga from the US, kailangan mo silang i-connect para makikita ka din ng iba pa ding mga network nila doon sa LinkedIn. Yun yung power ng LinkedIn when it comes to driving ng mga account mo, or sorry, driving sellers na magre-reach out sa iyo, or mga recruiters or mga HR team ng isang company to sa FB. Hindi talaga ako nagamit ng FB. Yung ginamit ko lang talaga before is OLJ and LinkedIn. Yun na. Pero sa LinkedIn, my profile is highly optimized. Sa OLJ, my profile is also highly optimized. Yung layout ko talaga doon kung ano yung magagawa ko with my client. And then during the interviews, kasi yung sinabi ni coach, tama yung 4 core na suggestion ni coach doon. And then one thing to do again with the during the interviews is you need to prepare. You need to prepare a document on how you need to read the job description, and then kung paano mo ano yung mga skills mo na meron ka na pwedeng gamiton doon sa mga job description na nandun. So, every interview ko po, meron po talaga akong one document na Google document. Doon ko po nilalagay na yung introduction ko, kung paano ko siya isegue, yung question kanina na paano naman po na parang i-ask si client about yung sa tips, number 2 tips ni coach na kailangan mong mag-ask sa client ng mga question para mo i-segue. Kasi usually naman talaga, tell me about yourself, yung question. Ano mo siya, pag during the introduction mo, make him think or make him question talaga. Make your client question kung ano pa yung magagawa mo by highlighting everything that you do sa Amazon. Yung sa mga walang experience, ito yung usual na misconception. Kasi paano yan, coach? Wala akong experience, I just graduated. Yung mga new grad na mga tao na wala pa talagang experience with doing Amazon account management or kahit VA. Ano yung very number 1 tip ko sa inyo? Highlight your personal achievement naman. So yung achievement mo, it could be coming from nung naging student ka. Ano yung mga sa tingin mo is mga ginagawa mo before? Like for example, if you are doing ano ka, like nasa student body ka, like sa politics, yung sa ano yung mga nakagawa ka ba ng ano mo ng which yung gumawa ka ba ng nag-plan out ka ba ng mga activities for the student? Paano mo siya ginawa? Paano mo in-outline? Ganon. Example, you are also an editor sa isang paper sa school. Paano mo ginawa yung ano mo, sulat mo? Paano mo yung process mo? Kasi yung important sa Amazon, guys, or kahit sa ano naman, is yung processes. Yung process mo, kung paano mo siya ginawa. So, kahit na wala kang experience sa Amazon VA or sa freelancing, if may experience ka outside, like yung local experience, please include it. Include it sa mga resume nyo. Kasi hindi magandang tingnan yung resume na walang experience tapos nakagraduate ka na for the past 5 years tapos wala kang nilagay na experience doon kasi akala mo na yung resume ng VA dapat yung experience lang din sa loob ng platform, sa freelance platform. No, hindi po. That's a common misconception din talaga. You need to provide all the experience that you have, job experiences that you have. Kasi baka may makikita silang responsibilities mo doon sa previous job mo na maa-apply mo sa position na tinitingnan nila. So ganun. So yung how to optimize naman yung profile, it's another topic kasi ano siya, it depends naman sa style mo. Pero it's very important na kailangan optimize yung profile mo sa mga job site, mga job platform, ano ba yan? LinkedIn job platforms, OLJ. Highlight mo lang doon kung sino ka personally, tapos ano yung mga qualities mo, mga soft skills na meron ka. If may core values ka, pwede mo ilagay doon. If may mission or may vision ka, pwede mo din ilagay doon. Pwede mo ding i-highlight doon why you are transitioning from the corporate world to the freelancing world kasi bigay mo doon yung reason. And then ano yung mga ginagawa mo, ano yung mga hard skills mo na currently, yung mga skills mo na technical skills na meron ka na makakatulong sa kanila. That's how you do the optimization naman with your profile. It's just all about you and what are the things that you can do. Ayan. So I think okay na ako kay Coach. I think okay na ako, Coach.
All right, ayun. Well, thank you very much, Coach Mel, for very valuable information about like Amazon virtual assistant. Kasi sa Amazon maraming ginagawa. So it's always better for us to be like prepared on what we need to do if you wanna like pursue to become an Amazon virtual assistant. Yes, it's possible to make like 6 digit per month. There are there's a lot of like premium clients out there that could give you 6 digit sa isang kliyente lang. But it comes along with a good like value that you need to offer to them in exchange for that 6 digit.
Yes.
So, ito yung sinasabi ko palagi na
Totoo yan.
it always comes with like if you have a basic skill, do not expect to have a 6 digit na 6 digit na income. Kasi ako like back when I started, I started as somewhere around $5-6 lang din. So as soon as I get to have the the expertise on what I do after a year or so, then hindi na ganun actually kahirap mag-offer ng service as long as alam mo yung ino-offer mo. And when it comes to offering like the service as well, sobrang importante na alam mo yung sequence of delivery mo during the interview on how you would offer your service, which is the 4 like tips na binigay ko kanina during the interview. Yun lang din yung usual na ginagawa ko. Although there are still like deeper into it on how you would like deal with that, like yung mga rebuttals sa pag-negotiate and etc.
Oo.
But that's some future discussion inside the sandbox kasi maybe next month or so, we will have like a communication trainer na mismo, sales closer na trainer. We'll just it's still just like on progress yung paggawa ng mga lesson. Pero yun na nga, we will have that inside the sandbox na kung saan after learning specific skills, I've been doing this since 2018, I've been teaching since 2018, sobrang dami na alam na nila paano gawin yung mga bagay na dapat gawin as a VA. But the challenge ng karamihan is that how to offer the service properly when talking to a client, right? So yun yung isa sa sa pinaka-importante. Now, question there is,
Yes.
kailangan ba magaling mag-English? The answer is no. It's not necessary for as long as conversational siya. Nagkakaintindihan kayo. Kasi yung pinaka-importante lang talaga na lagi mong i-point out dyan is ano yung problema ng kliyente. Doon mo siya
Yes.
tirahin palagi. Doon mo i-rebat yung kumaga yung service mo. Like during the conversation, wag mo silang like when they ask you like let's say tell me about yourself, tapos tatambakan mo agad sila na this is what I do, ganito ganyan,
Oo.
lahat ng nasa resume mo. Wag, right? I would suggest like to focus mainly on like getting to know what's their problem, understanding their core na pain points, and then later on yun yung gamitin mo na pangbala para ibalik sa kanila na kung saan magkakaroon ka ng value sa kanila.
Yes.
So sa freelancing, the bigger value
You can
that you give to them, the higher rate that you can ask.
Yes. Yes, totoo yan. Always value first talaga before the salary or the money. And then yung additional tip ko pala during the interview, ako yung palatanong. Ako yung palatanong kay client kasi I want to understand their company as well. I want to understand their core values as well, and then if align ba siya sa akin. Kasi baka naman we have all the hard skill pero hindi pala align yung mga core values nila doon sa loob sa mga hinahanap sa atin or sa mga employees nila. Parang hindi din fit. Ganun siya. So ako yung pala tanong, like most of the time talaga during my interview, parang ako yung nag-interview sa client.
Yeah.
Ganun yung process ko din.
Actually, I mean for me that's the right way to do it kasi when you ask question sa kliyente mo, it's like you're implying ba kumbaga na you're the one, you're the expert, you're the one who knows something.
Yes.
So parang ganun, which is sobrang importante niya na kailangan mong makuha or ma-hook yung trust nila. Okay, this person is asking, that means this person is interested to solve my problem. He's trying to know what's my problem and trying to provide a solution to it. When you ask question versus sa maghihintay ka lang kung ano yung itatanong sa'yo tapos yun lang din yung isasagot mo and then end the call and then maghihintay kung magre-response ba after a week, a day or two yung kliyente kung hired ka ba or hindi. So that's the situation. So question, yes. Paul? Ay, hindi pala. Sorry. Cursor ko pala ng mouse ko pala naka-raise ng hands. So ayun, basically that's what it is really all about. So basically if you are a totally new like virtual assistant and trying to look for some skills that you can offer, you have so like many different options, but one that we have discussed right now, which is tong Amazon like virtual assistant. We actually have like upcoming like full course training together with Coach Mel. I think na-discuss niya na kanina yung mga topics, possible na mga job roles na pwedeng pag-usapan. But yung mga topics na na pwedeng matakel, medyo marami-rami. So this is gonna be really a value bomb na mga information. Check lang natin yung topics. Right? So we have like full course training by the end of August, actually naka-schedule, and these are the topics that you will be discussing, right? So basics, catalog, inventory management, pricing, orders, advertising, stores, growth, reports, performance, B2B brands, case logs management, inventory management, reimbursement, and a lot more probably na hindi nasama dito na that will be discussed during the live training, hands-on training. And meron siyang hands-on training pala Kasi you will have like some activities, actual access seller central, so you can really practice in actual talaga kung ano yung mga pinag-uusapan nyo, not just in theory. And that's gonna be like around 14 ano pa rin ba? 14 days?
Yeah, it depends, coach, kasi it depends. Yung ano kasi namin, yung gusto ko kasing ano nila is magse-self-paced sila today and tomorrow yung training, yung hands-on naman. Para kahit para may understanding sila kung ano yung nasa self-paced on the
Okay, yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be an alternate like situation, like self-paced pre-recorded lesson para pagdating sa live sessions, will be focused on activity and application na doon sa sa theory. So ayun. May mga client po ba na nagsiset ng standard in terms of your working hours, load, and quality of work? Working hours, yes. Load of work, hindi naman siya ganun
Depende. Sa JD for Amazon for Amazon specific, ano po siya, working hours lang yung dinidisclose nila, pero nag-highlight na din sila ng mga roles and responsibilities mo doon sa job description nila. And it's up to you na din kung paano mo iano siya. Pero yung load talaga, it varies kasi.
Yep. So ayun. Hands-on po ba ang actual live na Amazon Seller Central? Yes, live po siya. Actual po siya na Access Seller
Oh,
Central.
yes.
Practice yun talaga. Paggawa ng listing, I think merong troubleshooting. Then
Yeah,
kasama.
may mga skeleton. Oh, yeah. Well, from the previous batch, we did listing creation coming from scratch, both flat file and using using just the Amazon backend.
Ayun, sige. So ayun, so basically by the end of the yung training pala with the Amazon account management, it comes along with full course din ng Excel, which is super kailangan
Important.
sa
Yes.
anong uri ng virtual assistant, and especially sa Amazon account management din. So ang Excel, this is gonna be like 7 days training. So this is gonna be a 2-in-1 training, 7 days sa Microsoft Excel with Coach Coach Chris, and then kay Coach Mel for like 14 days, which is we still have slot, right, for 4 a.m. Which is just gonna be like 6,997. So one time lang siya, like one time payment lang siya, and then you will get the access lifetime na sa ating system yung mga pre-recorded lesson natin. So, if you guys are interested to be part of the batch 22 na ata for this next batch itong end of August, then you can send us a message doon sa natin sa tawag nito sa page natin sa Sandbox VA. So ayan. AM course po ba ay para sa lahat ng Amazon business model? Ano ba covers na? Mostly private label, no? Pero applicable din sa lahat.
Oo. Yung sa listing related na mga stuff, applicable naman siya sa lahat, pero not all of them can be applicable sa ibang business model.
Villanueva po, like 6,997 yung training fee natin. So ayun, just let us know lang para sa mga interested, and then we'll there will be someone who will assist you doon sa page natin. So just message us dito sa ating Facebook page, sandboxva.com. Right? And then, yun na nga, as promised kanina, para sa mga nandirito ngayon, I have just, a very little like favor that I'd like to ask para sa mga mapipili natin for the raffle draw. So, I'd like to ask a very like short, honest feedback lang about the Amazon account management na webinar natin ngayon. So what do you think about this? Anything that you can say basically. Any honest feedback. So I'll send this on Zoom link, right? So leave lang kayo ng review dito sa namin sa page ng Sandbox VA. And then whoever yung makakapag-leave ng feedback dito, then yun yung masasali natin sa sa raffle draw ngayon, who will get the full course for the Amazon PPC. So ayun, let me just send you the link here. Ayan, I send it ko sa chat. And then kuha lang ako dito ng pang raffle ng mabilisan. Spin wheel, spin. Wheel of names. Ayan. So I'll just give you like 5 minutes. Online. online timer, right? So I'll give you 5 minutes to like just leave your honest feedback, and then after 5 minutes I'll send you the form para ilagay yung pangalan nyo if you are done already leaving the leaving a feedback, and then makikita natin yan dito, and then ilalagay natin dito sa spinner natin, right? So pag ikaw ang napili dito, so I will have to check or you will have to share if you have leave a feedback already. And then if merong feedback talaga, then we will, you will be the one who will get the free Amazon like PPC course. All right? So you have to make sure that you have leave a feedback already and just comment done as well sa ating comment section if you are done na. Doon po ba yun sa recommend? What do you mean recommend? Link po ng Google Form. Send ko later yung link ng Google Form if you are done already with after 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, I'll just give you time first to leave a feedback. Wait lang. Ayan. So I'll send you the link para sa pag-leave ng feedback dito sa aming page. Right? So again, you need to make sure na nakapag-leave ng feedback para pag yung pangalan ang napili nyo dito, and then as soon as we check if you really have like leave the feedback, then at least hindi masasayang yung natin, yung pangalan. All right? Ayan. So just comment lang Dan kung tapos na si Ma'am Ivor. Ma'am Ivor, Ma'am She. Ayun. So para sa mga tapos na mag-leave ng feedback, I'll give you the form. I'll give you the form. Ito. Ayan. Para sa mga tapos na. So sign up lang kayo dyan sa form para makuha ko yung mga pangalan nyo dito at malagay ko dun sa Ayun. Coach, wala po bang discount ang mga old members na nandito? Old members for sa sa AAM? Account management? Sige po. 3 minutes more. Yes, AM student before. We'll see. Tingnan natin. Si Ma'am just send me a message, Ma'am She. Siguro wala kasing ngayon, walang discount. Siguro what we can do is Sandbox will cover the cost. Yan yung pinaka pwede kong gawin. Dan, yeah. 3 minutes more. Sige. Lagyan nyo na pangalan nyo dito sa form. Send ko ulit yung form. I'm really looking for hands-on before kasi wala na. Yes, wala po. Sige Ma'am She. Pag-isipan ko, send me a message sa and we'll see kung kahit mag-break even na lang yung yung Sandbox cover na lang namin. Alrighty. Okay. Nag-send sa akin ng message si Ma'am Sige. Send me a message po. Ma'am She. Send me a message sa natin sa Facebook mo. Dan, tingnan natin ilan na ba nandirito? 18. Done with the recommendation as well as filling up the form. Sana ako din. Right? Thank you po. Teka lang. Asan ba yung baka natabunan na yung recommendation link. Ayan, send ko ulit dito yung recommendation. Ay, sorry. Dito pala. Ayan, send ko ulit. Done. Right? We have 22, 23. Ayan. Tingnan natin. 26. And then again, ito yung form. And ito yung Facebook page para makapag-leave ng feedback. Dan feedback, ilan na ba dito? 26. Ilan tayo dito ngayon? Nasa 16 na lang pala tayo. Dan, sino pang ano? Sino pang wala? Kasi sayang rin. One, two. One more. 35. 30 seconds. So I'll give like 2 minutes more para sa mga kapag ano, para sa hindi pa nakapag-fill up ng form. Kasi sayang baka hindi masali. Alright? Kasi yun lang yung ilalagay ko dito kung ano yung nandirito na pangalan. Sige. Let's give like 2 minutes more para lang sa ano. Sign up ng form. Ayan. Done. Thank you po. Ilan na? 37. So I'm expecting there will be 40. Ala, dito nalagay yung feedback. Kanino to? Itong email. Kailangan email nakalagay dito kasi para makuha ko agad yung email para mabigay yung access ng ano ng course. Paul Humahil. Tingnan natin. Pwede po ba makuha yung link? Anong link po? Ito, link nung ano, nung page. 1 minute more. Kasi it's already 9 p.m. Mabilisan lang to. Dana coach. Thank you po. 44. Refresh nga natin. Done. Makita yung ano. Alright, so I think it's already, meron pa walang 57 seconds. 36. 36 na lang. And then I will get the ano na here. 46. May kailang po sa email maglaga sa medyo nalito ako. Coach, pabura po na submission ko. Inulit ko na po. Sige. Etong ano. Anyway, I will remove the ano naman. Ito pala. Sige, delete natin to. For PPC, ayan, time is up. So for PPC, end of August din yung ano, schedule natin for PPC. So ayun, kunin ko lang lahat ng mga names dito. Remove lang natin yung ano, duplicate, baka meron. Data, remove duplicates. There was, ito na lang, pangalan na lang. Wala naman, duplicate. Sige, go na to. 48, then paste ko na dito. Saan na doble? Chore. Ano pong email nyo? Check. Ito pala. Teka lang. Check natin. Ay, doble nga. Bakit ina-detect? Okay. Sige, proceed na natin to. So, paste ko na dito. So, simple lang ang rule. I will do the spin ng 5 beses and then yung pang-5 na mapipili, yun yung makukuha. So, ibig sabihin, yung first 4 na mapipili ng spinner natin ay matatanggal and then yung pang-5 yung mananalo. So, ayun. So, let me spin the wheel. You guys can see my screen already, right? Can you guys confirm? Baka mamaya wala. Yes. Sige. So, let me have the first spin kung sino yung matatanggal. And I'm sorry, but I have to remove you right now. Ma'am May Flora. Unang matatanggal. Ayan. And then, Jeremy Sunshine. Pangalawang matatanggal. Eviction na. Yes. Pangatlo. And Ma'am Michelle, I'm sorry but I have to remove you right now. And then, pang-apat. Tingnan natin. Jeremy. Alright, so panglima, kung sino yung mapipili ngayon. Coach, pwede pa ba humbalon? Wala kasi kanina yung... Unfortunately, hindi na po. Kasi nalagay na natin yung pangalan sa yung mga pangalan sa wheel. Pero ito ngayon, ang panglima, tingnan natin kung sinong mapipili. And then we will have to check kung nandirito, kailangan nandirito, si Ma'am Beverly, Ma'am Rima. Munti ka na si Ma'am Beverly. Ma'am Rima M. Villanueva, andito po ba si Ma'am Rima? Baka nawala. Ayun. So, Ma'am Rima, can you guys check natin? Paano ba i-check? Or maybe you can share your po. I'll unshare my screen. And then maybe you can share your if it's just okay to you or kahit just a screenshot to see if you have, kasi hindi makita dito sa akin. Tingnan natin. Meron pala. Ito, 9 minutes ago, Rima Villanueva. Nakita ko na. So, yun. Congratulations po, ma'am. And, we'll see you by the end of August for Amazon PPC na topic. Kunin ko lang yung email mo dito. Actually, let me just give you this right now. Right? Let me give you an access to the Amazon PPC already. And congratulations. And then send me a message din sa sa Facebook. Para ma-add kita doon sa natin sa GC for the Amazon PPC. So ayun, congratulations and thank you guys very much for tonight's webinar. I really hope that you guys have learned something today about how to become a virtual assistant para sa mga totally bago pa lang who wanted to start their freelancing career. Then I hope that we were able to give you the information that you needed in order for you to start the freelancing career properly. So let me give you the access like for Amazon PPC. So you can go ahead and check your email na po, ma'am, for the access. So once again, congratulations. And this is me again, Coach Ben from the Sandbox together with Coach Mel. And thank you. Thank you guys very much. Have a good night po, everyone.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you po. Have a good night.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.